Christmas, the festive season everyone looks forward to. But there is a story that only a few people know. A story about a terrifying ghost, Santa Claus. But not the jolly, chubby figure you're used to thinking of. This story begins on Christmas Eve, 1955, when a man dressed as Santa Claus was brutally murdered inside a store. And from that night on, this town was never the same again. Every Christmas Eve, when the snow falls and the cold wind blows, a ghost dressed as Santa Claus reappears, wandering through the shops, searching for the one who killed him. But there's one thing no one dares to speak of. This ghost is not just seeking revenge, it is seeking justice. Today, those brave enough to face this spirit must not only confront their fear, but also a terrifying secret that has remained hidden for years. Do you have the courage to hear this story? Be sure not to miss any detail of the tale of the Santa Claus Ghost, because once you begin, you won't be able to stop. We begin on Christmas Eve 1955, where a terrifying soul first emerged from the darkness. On Christmas Eve 1955, this little store became a sanctuary of joy and happiness. The man in the Santa Claus suit was a familiar figure in the town. Every year, he came here, handing out gifts to the children, bringing the warm, festive atmosphere. But that year, everything changed. He had no idea that a shadow was lurking in the store, a shadow just waiting for the right moment to strike. No one could have known that on this night, Santa Claus would never leave the store. Suddenly, the air in the store grew heavy. A strange silence took over, as if someone were watching him from the darkness. Santa Claus, with his kind nature and trust in the peace of Christmas night, had no idea that death was drawing near. No one heard footsteps, no one saw the stranger, but in that moment, the silence was only the forewarning of the horror to come. In an instant, the festive air was gone. Santa Claus collapsed, and no one knew why or who was responsible for his death. But that death, with its brutality and coldness, left an unhealable wound. A wound not only for his family, but for the entire community. And the story of the Santa Claus Ghost began here, as a warning to all who dared forget the truth behind that death. Every Christmas Eve since Santa Claus's death, the locals began witnessing the strange appearance of a ghost. At first, it was only whispers from the shops, murmurs in the darkness, speaking of a figure in red moving silently between the shelves. But no one dared admit they had seen it. It was the silence of fear. This ghost never spoke a word. Santa Claus, when he was alive, symbolized joy and warmth. But now, that red suit evoked nothing but coldness and terror. Anyone who saw him felt a strange presence, as if the ghost was searching for someone or something. With each flicker of the lights, the ghost of Santa Claus reappears in a different spot, as though he was watching every person in the store. The fortunate customers who didn't see him often left with a suffocating feeling, as if someone was staring at them, watching every step they took. And then, when they looked back, the figure would vanish, as if it were just a shadow of the night. But the fear lingered, like a warning. You are near someone, and you can't escape. Those who have seen the ghost of Santa Claus say that his eyes no longer held any life. They were hollow, cold, and haunting. Though he never spoke a word, every time the ghost appeared, a deep fear gripped those who saw him, a fear that no one could explain. The man in the store had no idea that he had become the ghost's target. Drops of liquor fell from his hands, but he didn't even notice. The ghost's eyes followed every movement he made, as if waiting for something. Suddenly, the atmosphere in the store grew suffocating. The man couldn't move, his eyes locked on the ghost's lifeless gaze. That stare wasn't a threat, it was a silent plea, a pain that only spirits who cannot move on could understand. The ghost said nothing, but his presence seemed to tell a long, endless story. About revenge, about an unsolved death, about a soul that would never be at rest. And though the man didn't fully understand, he could feel it. And then, as always, The ghost of Santa Claus vanished when the light in the store shifted. Those who had seen him felt as if they had narrowly escaped something, but the fear lingered, impossible to forget. Was he searching for someone? Or was it simply that this ghost wanted to remind us all that some things in life can never be resolved, and they will haunt us forever, never letting go? Some people in the town began to have strange experiences after seeing the ghost of Santa Claus. An unexplainable chill, strange noises in the dead of night, and haunting dreams of a man in a red suit. But not everyone was terrified. A woman, once a friend of Santa when he was alive, believed that he didn't come for revenge, but to deliver a warning. She had once spent countless joyful Christmas nights with him, but now, after his tragic death, she began to sense that the ghost wasn't a threat, but a warning for those who dared to forget. This woman had been a close friend of Santa, the only one who knew the full story behind his death. But she had never told anyone, knowing that revealing it would only make things worse. However, on this Christmas night, she felt she could no longer hide from it. She had seen the ghost of Santa Claus, and she knew what it meant. He wasn't there to kill. He was there to warn against forgetting about a world that had left too many things unresolved. And tonight, she knew in her heart that the ghost would not stop until his mission was complete. Tonight, another man, unaware of the haunting tale, entered this area. He was merely a traveler, seeking a place to rest on Christmas Eve. But tonight, he would become a part of this story, a part he would never be able to forget. The shop remained silent, yet it felt as though something was waiting for him. The darkness didn't only surround him from the outside, but seemed to creep within the very room. A chill ran down his spine, and before he could realize what was happening, the ghost of Santa Claus appeared. He saw the ghost, unable to forget the image. His eyes were void of expression. The red suit had faded, but the chill and the fear he felt were indescribable. The gaze of Santa Claus wasn't a curse, but a pursuit, a torment that could not be denied. The young man, though he didn't understand why, felt that this wasn't just an ordinary ghost. This was a soul trapped, a spirit searching for someone. And that ghost, it spared no one. The townspeople, though they had heard of the ghost of Santa Claus for many years, never truly understood the story behind the appearance of that spirit. Everything had been mere rumors, until this man, someone who had lived through those dark times, decided to tell the story once more. Santa Claus wasn't the kind-hearted man we thought he was, he said. He was the victim of a mysterious revenge, and his soul can't rest until the truth is revealed. But he didn't stop there. According to him, Santa Claus's death wasn't an accident. He was killed by someone with a deep connection to him, and the ghost that everyone saw on each Christmas Eve wasn't some random spirit. It was a soul searching for the one who had wronged him. But not everyone understood the obsession of this ghost. Some of the townspeople tried to confront the spirit, hoping to drive away the fear. One man, skeptical of ghost stories, decided to face the ghost of Santa Claus directly. Little did he know, this spirit wasn't merely seeking revenge, it was searching for justice. Tonight, he would become the target of an unrelenting pursuit. No one could escape this ghost. It was certain that Santa Claus wasn't there to kill the innocent, but he would not spare anyone who had wronged him. And tonight, that spirit discovered that the one who had killed him was still hiding in the shadows, yet to be revealed. And on that final Christmas night, when all hope had faded, the ghost of Santa Claus found the one who had killed him. Not in vengeance, but in a weary wait. This man, the one responsible for Santa's death, now stood before the spirit. The ghost didn't attack him. It simply stared, its cold eyes as if it had finally found what it had been searching for. And as the ghost of Santa Claus vanished, once again, the town returned to peace. But in the hearts of its people, they knew that a part of that spirit would never leave. The story of Santa Claus was not one of revenge, but a reminder of justice, a truth that would never be forgotten. Will the ghost continue its hunt for the one who wronged it, or has it left this place in search of peace? No one knows, but every Christmas night, when the snow falls and the bells ring, perhaps you'll feel the presence of a spirit, quietly, never forgotten.